Hello, everyone. Here we are. My name is Donald McCarthy. My pronouns are he, him, and we are playing Uncanny Echo by Fraser Simons. This is the second of three sessions, and tonight we are playing Suburbia, whereupon one of the echoes from the previous heist will hopefully get some time on screen, and we'll answer some questions about it. Let's start with an intro to the players and their characters. So let's go from left to right in character order. That I think means it is Scott first.
Name's Puckett, he, him pronouns. Glad to be here.
Do you want to intro your character as well, Puckett?
Oh, sure. I'm playing Mia. She is a 13-year-old girl who is the daughter of the nosy neighbor, Junie. And Junie is a terrible mother, very inattentive. She's always more concerned with her fashion and her shopping and her neighborhood watch and her book clubs and her whatnots than actually staying home and helping me with homework or anything.
And I assume that is all canon. That description is all canon.
My mom's kind of the worst.
Yeah.
The literal worst. So, and she lies all the time. You can't trust her. Saying anything that comes out of her mouth is probably a lie.
Perfect. Stephen.
Yes, I am playing Oscar. He is the ex-cop. And this game is set in Hong Kong. So he was working for the British until the city reverted to China, at which point he retired and got a little house up in the hills in Hong Kong. And he probably couldn't afford it nowadays, but back then it was still possible for a police officer to get a nice place to live. And he's retired. He's on the neighborhood watch. He's keeping an eye out for things. And it's like, and he's noticed that Junie has one tell. It's that whenever anybody says anything bad about her that's completely true, she tries to ground them. Yeah. So Judy, do you want to give your side of the story?
Hello. I'm Pearl. I use she, her pronouns. I'll be playing Junie. And I would just like to let all of you know that Mia has been a problem child since the start. You know, her older brother, Scott, got straight A's, went to a good school, and now he is doing very well in his position as an assistant manager at the bank. But Mia, I know what she has to say about me. But kids, you try and you fail when it comes to Mia. She's just a bad seed. But anyway, don't listen to her. She'll say whatever she wants to get what she wants. I mean, she's a teenager. Maybe she'll grow out of it. As far as that policeman up the street, Oscar, I think somebody never got over getting made police chief, if you know what I mean. And Trudy down the block, well, we have some things to talk about with Oscar. But I am the actual head of the neighborhood watch, no matter what anybody else has to say about it, Oscar. And I encourage you all to join because there have been some very odd things happening around here. And if we don't band together as neighbors, then we can't protect each other from what's out there. I moved out here with my husband and I expected a peaceful lifestyle and whatnot here in the cul-de-sac, but I think there are things going on here. So it's really nice to meet you all. And I do hope you'll come and join. The next neighborhood watch meeting is tonight at 9, my place. I live down at the end of the cul-de-sac, and we'll have refreshments and just a few light snacks, and we can talk about all of this nonsense. Mia will be sent up to her room because she's grounded. And perhaps I'll. You know what, Mia? When you can pronounce canapé, then you can correct my recipes. All right? All right. This is the adults are talking. Anyway, please come join the neighborhood watch. We have things to discuss.
I'm Alan. I go with he, him. I'm playing the conspiracy theorist playbook. My name is Show, or at least the name that I am known by in the cul-de-sac in the neighborhood is Show. My work name is Felix, and I'm a criminal. The last criminal enterprise was a raid on a bank vault about 6 months ago. I think is there something going strangely wrong with Hangouts, because I seem to be watching Pearl and nobody else.
If you've
Click the
clicked
screen.
on your own little square in the bottom, if you click on anyone's square at the bottom, you fix on them. So if you click on them again, it'll go back to reverting to whoever's talking.
Shall I try that?
Are we appearing now for you?
I'm seeing you now, Donna.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Sorry, where did I get to? So
Pearl is the center of attention, obviously, or is that just Junie coming through?
Hey.
Sorry, I'm bad.
Felix is a criminal. His expertise is in computers and technical matters, but some really strange stuff happened at a bank heist 6 months ago that has left him convinced that the world is not as straightforward as he thought it was. He went into that heist competent and convinced that all the freaky things that people were talking about were not in fact true. But now he's not so sure. And so he spent the last 6 months living in this cul-de-sac, keeping his head down, trying to spot patterns in news events or anything else that tie back to what he saw happen in that heist. He got away. He's not certain anybody else did. And he was pleased to get away with his life. And that Show. And he's pretty paranoid.
Okay, great. I'm going to ask a couple of questions just to help set everything up now.
Excuse me for a moment. I've got something going
Yeah.
on with the water heater. I'll be back.
Okay. Let's start. Okay. Let us start with Felix. If we were to look at the neighborhood from a kind of a helicopter shot, or even a drive-through, what makes it look, extremely overly normal looking, very manufactured? There can't be anything spontaneous going on in here.
I think what we'd see from that helicopter shot is, sorry, somebody's at my door. Bear with me.
Okay. Let's see. Who will we go to? Let's just wait for
I'm afraid something's come up in my house and now I have to go.
Excellent. Let's just wait for the other two to come back so that we can hear everything they have to say. Hopefully.
Sorry about that. I've lost my thread. Helicopter view of the cul-de-sac. I think we would see perfectly mowed lawns with where they all go parallel, and they all go in the same direction, up and down towards the house and back. And I think probably sprinkler systems to keep them green in the climate. Okay for a starter?
So, like, let's say the cul-de-sac kind of curves around. When we see in a helicopter view, all of those lines, they're not just like parallel to the line of the house. They're actually all parallel to each other, even though that would be impossible to arrange. Okay. Okay. That does look artificial, right? Junie, what story did Trudy tell you at the last, or sorry, after the last neighborhood watch meeting that really scared you and anyone else who was in the room at the time?
Well, there's sort of a weird combination, right? That there was, wait, let me clarify. Have we discussed the house having gone missing?
No, but we're gonna do that right after this.
So I should not bring that up as part of this meeting. Okay. Well, Trudy told me that she had seen a news story about a rogue cop years ago. And the other day she was looking at Oscar and it just hit a bit of a familiarity, and she looked it up, and apparently right before Oscar moved out to Hong Kong, there was a rogue cop who went on a murder spree back where he came from. And she felt like, even though it was a long time ago, so, you know, people age and whatnot, but there was an unsettling resemblance between Oscar and the policeman who had gone rogue and then disappeared.
Well, that's
I don't
exciting.
trust him.
My past is an open book.
Oscar, I guess I'm wondering how your house is a little bit different from every other house on the cul-de-sac. You know, I'm not sure you're bending rules, but there's something that the committee has raised before with you in terms of standards. What have you done to your house, and why?
I have a meticulously maintained vegetable garden in the front yard, and it's like the bylaws, they specifically allow me to keep a garden. And I mean, they've been trying to say they mean a flower garden, but I mean, that's not what the bylaws say. The bylaws say a garden.
And those vegetables technically flower, right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. I mean, if they want to change the bylaws, there's a process. It's not a very practical process, but there is a process.
Excellent. I wonder, do we have Puckett back yet? We not. We will just, yeah. Let's leave him come back in his own time. So let's talk about the echo. So the first key, excuse me, in everyone's playbook is to describe a scene explaining your motivations for trying to get to the truth of the echo, and have more echoes occurred since. So maybe let's start with, let's go back around in the same order, and maybe start with describing exactly what you saw or what you noticed. And then let's answer that question for the key. So let's start with Felix.
This goes back to the heist. He saw some people, supposed security guards, which were husks of people reskinned. And that is the scene that explains his motivation for trying to get to the truth of the echo. And he thinks that he's found a pattern linking that event to some other events across the world that involve the disappearance of people. So I'll mark that key. That's okay.
Yeah, I think that's pretty straightforward. Junie, how about you? How did you witness this echo, and what's your motivations?
Sorry, there's a bit of lag on my turning things off and on. Well, I keep very close watch on the neighborhood because as the head of the neighborhood watch, somebody has to. And I just don't think, I feel like there have been a lot of odd things going on around here. Like, I was down at the playground the other day, and the merry-go-round just isn't there anymore, and I swear we had one. I'm not down at the park that often. My kids are too old. But things like that seem to keep happening, and I don't know. Nobody else seems to be noticing quite as much as they should. So I'm trying to get the neighborhood watch together to investigate and see if anything else has gone missing in the neighborhood. I mean, first thing, it's a merry-go-round, and the next thing you know, it could be a house. Just worrisome. Worrisome.
Indeed, very worrisome. And Oscar, how about you?
Well, I mean, when I saw that number 15 Primrose Day, there was a number 15. It was right between 13 and 17. And when I noticed that it was missing, I called up some of my old friends on the force, and I took them out. I brought them out here. I explained the situation, and they acted like I was crazy. I mean, isn't it obvious that if there's a number 13 and there's a number 17, then there has to be a number 15? You don't even have to have seen it before. You don't have to be a detective to know that there's something strange going on.
As much as I don't trust Oscar, I have to say he's correct about this.
Right. So, I mean, I've got to figure out what's going on, so that these. I mean, actually, I get, yeah. So that these new hotshots on the Hong Kong police force, this is for the honor of the British Empire now.
Well, that always goes very well, doesn't it? Okay, so I think the best place to get you all together, and probably a few other people, is the aforementioned meeting of the Neighborhood Watch in Junie's place tonight. So maybe Junie, describe the setup. Obviously, Mia is still grounded,
Yes.
but I'm sure she'll make a reappearance at some point in time.
Knowing me, I should sneak down the stairs the moment someone breaks out a bottle of wine. But for right now, we've just got the nice living room set up. We've got a nice mastering set, the love seat and the couch over here, and a few matching chairs. There's a table with some canapes and light refreshments. I've put some clipboards with pens and paper out, so if anybody wants to take notes, they're welcome. And I'm happy to call this meeting of the Neighborhood Watch to order. Welcome, everybody. I'm so glad you could make it out. Obviously, there have been some things happening in our neighborhood, and I thought maybe we could just go around, and express our concerns at anything we've seen, and see if we've encountered any of the same problems. You all know me. I'm Junie. You all see me in the cul-de-sac. And at the PTA meetings, if you have kids, any of you, I'm sure you know who I am.
Felix, I'm wondering, do you arrive on time or do you stumble in late? And do you bring anything to add to the table?
I have to say, I don't think Felix would go, because that would draw attention to him, and that's desperately what he wants to avoid. So I think maybe we see Felix at the front of the house, looking through the window at this gathering at this point. So that would say at least late.
I mean, I think if you get an invite from Junie and you don't show up, that will draw attention to you, or at least she will, right?
Well, I think certainly I'd be looking to see who else was there before I arrive. So I think I'm going to be late.
Okay. How about Oscar? If you show up late as well, you might see some ne'er-do-well skulking outside the window. But if you're on time, you probably won't.
Oh, I'm definitely going to be on time. We can't have a neighborhood watch meeting without me there. I mean, who would be in charge?
That's exactly right. Who would be in charge if not Oscar? And do you bring anything to the table to?
No. I mean, if they were in season, I would bring in a basket of zucchini so that everyone could take some. But for this meeting, no, I don't have anything. I don't have any vegetables that I'm particularly trying to get rid of, and I mean, I don't cook, so.
Okay, and yeah, Junie, who else is here? Obviously, the aforementioned Trudy is a regular, but are there any other people that we need to drag in, or is it just a very empty room at the moment?
No, of course not. Of course, it's not an empty room. It's the neighborhood watch. We've got as many people as we can get, and I'm sure we'll have more next week. I'm always recruiting. But there's Tom. Todd was very heavy on the expats this cul-de-sac. So, yeah, we've got Tom and his wife Amy, and Lilith and Tanner. Also,
Okay. So I'm wondering how long it is before Felix becomes noticed that he's missing at least.
you're asking me or Felix?
Well, I suppose if Felix is playing cautious, he can come in time. But if you notice he's missing, maybe.
Oh, I'll notice if that's if I have the opportunity to do so. I just wasn't sure who you were speaking to, literally. So, okay, I'm going to go ahead and call the roll call of everybody who I invited to this meeting and I'm expecting to see. So we've got Oscar there, but Tom's here.
Oh yeah, I'm here. I'm just. These are fabulous canapes, Junie.
Thank you.
You've really outdone yourself.
I appreciate that so much. See, this is why we live in such a wonderful neighborhood. So it's all about the neighbors. And I see Trudy, obviously, so steadfast. I know you'll have lots to tell us from about the neighborhood. And Amy, and it looks like everyone's here except, has anybody seen that newish fellow show? I know he received the invitation because I happened to see him take it inside the door as I was out in the neighborhood.
I'd quite like that to be the point where the doorbell rings. And I'm wondering, because I think Mia is now at the top of the stairs. I'm just wondering who gets to the door first.
Uh,
Yeah, why don't you describe what Mia has been up to
yeah.
since people started to arrive?
I've been waiting for downstairs to get so busy that my mom won't notice me sneaking out the upstairs bedroom window. And I mean, for as observant as she claims to be with Neighborhood Watch, she misses so much of what I do. She doesn't pay any attention to her own kid. She's in everybody else's business. But me, I might as well be feral. So I'm sneaking outside, and I think I'm going to go see what kind of trouble I can get into.
Front window or back window?
It would be a window aiming the back or facing the back of the house property. So not visible from the street. So I've got pretty clear as line of sight goes.
I'm interested in whether Show will see you as he walks up the drive to ring the doorbell.
Nah. Now, you might see like a shadow of movement around the corner of the building, but me, I'm too quick. I'm used to hiding from my mom. I mean, granted, she's not as observant as a former police officer would be, but.
So I'm wondering, from Mia's point of view, I want to get a sense of, is she going out to investigate the echo, and what's her motivation in doing that?
I want to know what my mom's fussing about, because this sounds just weird enough to be. It sounds just weird enough to be interesting. And normally my mom's stuff is really boring. She's all about fashionable bags and clothes and vintage this and retro that. And it's all just it's so dull. I mean, can you scream middle-aged crisis any louder? But this, a house that was kind of there and now isn't. And I mean, I kind of remember it too. Like it was weird. So, I mean, yeah, I kind of want to at least wander around the area where I thought it was, see if there's anything that I can figure out at night.
Okay, well, yeah, why don't you... sorry, when you describe a scene, explain your motivations to try to get the truth of the echo. That's your first key, and that allows you to pick a move off the list, or to hold one to help or interfere in future. So you can make that choice now.
Let me switch that key over to yes. And are there any kids in the neighborhood besides me, or is this just middle-aged parent hell?
Oh, I don't know. I think that is a question I'll leave up to you. Has Mia got any people of her own age that she could hang out with, or is her sneaking around just because she's left alone in this cul-de-sac purgatory?
I think I will take the kids talk move. And there are kids on the block, but look, I actually wrote Gerard Way once, and I got like an actual My Chemical Romance postcard back. So clearly I'm the coolest kid in the area, and everybody knows it. I mean, it doesn't matter that it was obviously a stamped signature on the card. It was still his signature. So there's other kids around, but I didn't really hang out with them because I'm 13 and I listen to My Chemical Romance, and they're all listening to God, whatever the pop music of the moment is. I can't be bothered with such things. But there are kids around, and I can, in fact, kind of play upon my coolness to try to get them to tell me things. And
So,
unlike me, they're not grounded.
so is there one in particular that you are apt to bump into, who's useful, or is there a gaggle of them?
There's usually like some kids that like kind of hang around, and like they'll share a stolen cigarette that one of them snuck out of their parents' house or something like that. Sometimes they play football in the street when there's no cars, but mostly they just kind of hang out under this one street light and kind of mill around. No, they're in the age of like 10 to 12 ish, so they're younger, but it's a mix of Hong Kong kids and expats, because the neighborhood we live in, for expats, it's just kind of understood, but for Hong Kong citizens, it's kind of like a little bit of an aspirational neighborhood. And so I think I'm going to try to talk to Henry. And Henry's dad is in banking. He does something. I don't even care about what adults do. So I mean, he does something. He wears a suit. I mean, is that a job at a bank, wearing a suit? But Henry might have some information about this house. He's a quiet kid, reads a lot, tends to stay back a little bit and pay more attention to other people and what's going on than trying to mix it up with them. So
Okay, so yeah, what do you how do you pump Henry for information? What's Mia's approach to this kind of situation like?
kids talk.
But like, what does she do to talk to another kid like this?
She kind of wanders up to him. So, Henry. And he starts like, wait, somebody's speaking to me? What's up?
Oh, hi, I'm Mia. I think you can kind of see the gears turning in his head. He knows maybe that you're grounded, but he's not going to say that because that would be uncool. Hi, Mia.
So, what you doing?
I kind of waiting for people. They said they would be here in like 5 minutes ago, and no, I guess maybe not.
So, I know you hang around a lot, and you really keep your eyes open, don't you?
I mean, I notice stuff. I mean, who doesn't? You notice stuff, right, Mia?
Yeah, but Henry, you're a lot more observant. I mean, you really pay attention to a lot of stuff. I mean, you really know what's going on. I mean, the rest of the kids, they're caught up in their own stuff. Gee, you're kind of watching everybody. I always feel like you're looking for angles and like trying to put things together, like it's all a puzzle for you.
I mean, I guess. Why? What puzzle are you trying to put together?
Well, got kind of a weird one for you, but it's really cool. It's
Okay, shoot.
You got to promise not to tell anybody, because when I say it's really cool, I mean it's really, really, really weird, but really cool. But you got to promise not to tell anybody.
I mean, sure.
You see that lot over there? That house on it?
Yeah,
You've been here a while.
I've lived here all
See?
my life.
Anything about that lot seem kind of weird now? Like weirder than it used to be?
Weirder than it used to be. I think this will be a good chance for you to roll your dice and let's see if he is a useful witness for the weirdness. So when you ask for information for someone your own age or younger, roll plus wits. Okay.
And that gets me a 7.
Okay, cool. So that is, they will only tell you something interesting.
Interesting.
It's up to you to make it useful. Well, so it's like the gap between the houses is like wider than usual. And it's like, someone had, the way sometimes you get like a 15A, 15B kind of situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
They build the houses together for some reason, but that never happens here. I can't imagine that they thought that would be interesting. But there's a load of gunk on the grass over there, like since a few days ago. Because I don't tell anyone this. I kind of use it as a shortcut, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's this kind of residue in the grass the last while.
Really? How long ago did you see that pop up?
I'm not sure. Maybe a week or so. I guess he is describing a very vague, he doesn't quite remember timeline that fits into when this house disappeared, right?
Right.
Okay.
So gunk, huh?
Gunk, yeah, gunk. I don't know. Like,
I mean, does it seem like anything you recognize? Like, is it oil or is it like glue or?
it was a bit iggy. Yeah, I didn't want to go back. I mean, I'm curious, but not curious.
Not that curious.
Yeah.
Hmm. It'd be really, really cool, Henry.
Want me? Yeah.
So, and I look around, make sure nobody else is listening. So, I'm supposed to be grounded right now, but I snuck out.
Yeah, I know.
Figured you would, but it'd be super cool if you can do it, because I got to get back. I had to sneak out because I can't let my mom think that she actually won. But I got to get back in so I don't get in trouble. But if you could like take a look at that stuff, like maybe a little bit closer, and maybe talk to me tomorrow when we're on our way to school, I'd really appreciate it. It'd be super cool if you did.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe.
All right. Well, nice talking with you, Henry.
Yeah. Good luck sneaking back into your own house.
Like I need luck. It's my mom. Come on. She's doing her neighborhood watch thing. She's oblivious. Won't even notice somebody's like breaking into the house while her neighborhood watch meeting is going on. Come on.
Okay. So let's break that scene there. And I think we're due a buy break for everyone. We say on the hour, give or take.
Okay.
Fine by me.
Okay. See you in a while.
Doggo.
Is everyone back? What's going on?
I'm here.
Did anybody say my name loudly?
Nope.
I did not.
Have I been missing long?
Not that I'm aware of.
Oh, good. Sorry. I dozed off and I just woke up and you were all on screen and I panicked. Thank heaven. All right. Hello,
I
everyone.
think you just dozed out off exactly the length of time of our bio break, Pearl. So
Amazing.
if you want to actually take a proper break, that's okay with me.
No, you're all at my house. I can't take a nap while you're all here at my house. It'd be very
We're
rude.
not all there. I mean, I snuck out, but
So yeah, here's a setup question for Mia before we get back to the neighborhood watch question. There's a bullshit rule in the local ordinance that absolutely everyone hates, or at least everyone secretly hates. What is that rule, and who's responsible for it?
I'm going to go with curfew for kids is 8 p.m. and it's my mom's fault.
I don't know. I don't think I'd want the kids home by 8. Like, that would mean I'd have to be home and watching them, wouldn't it?
Well, you haven't done that so far, so I mean, why would you start now?
I suppose you're right. You're not smart enough to get into trouble. Not real trouble.
Just wait, Mom. I'll show you.
So, what is the neighborhood watch fervently discussing or arguing about when Mia gets back into the house? Junie, what's the bone of contention right now?
Probably that house that disappeared. That feels like a big deal.
And it's a bone of contention because, like, most of the people here are like looking at you like you're crazy.
Yeah, and Oscar isn't, which I'm finding like maddening because Oscar is generally not like, we are not a team up type of neighbor set, but he seems to be one of the only people who has also noticed that the house has gone missing. So we're gonna have to team up because I think, what else can we do? Everyone else. I think Trudy at least like believes, because Trudy and I are like best friends, you know, and we like to gossip about the neighborhood, and she knows I wouldn't make up such a thing. But maybe Trudy isn't sure why she hasn't seen it. But our regular neighbors, Tom and Amy and all of them, have not. But Oscar has, like, I think, right, Oscar?
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely noticed something odd. So
yeah, I think that is my guess, is that Oscar and I are uneasy partners in trying to convince the rest of the neighborhood that perhaps this house that went missing existed at one point. And the rest of the neighborhood watch thinks we're just like, we've gone off our rockers, essentially. Sound good to everyone?
yeah.
And what about Felix? Does he let it be known, or is he keeping everything very low key in terms of his knowledge of this?
Felix has noticed that the house has gone missing, but he's not mentioning it here. Not a chance. Instead, he's noting the people who are admitting to having the same view he has, and the ones that are clearly part of the conspiracy, who are the ones who are saying there was no house.
Just so I have consensus here, Oscar and Trudy and I saw that. Felix, I don't think I've heard your voice in this one yet. Did you? You've seen the house, right? Or not seen the house in this case? You know what we're talking about.
It's always been an empty lot, Junie.
I think we want to see Felix manipulate someone. I think you are relying maybe on the general social consensus to try to make Junie think that you are in the dark about this, right?
Yeah, I'm not quite certain what my leverage is. When you have leverage on someone and manipulate them in order to do something you want, I don't want Junie to do anything. I'm just siding with Tom and the others.
Okay, you're not trying to get her
No.
to ignore you at all. You're just playing. Okay,
Right,
that's fine.
right. But I did take the cop eyes move, so I can tell when people are lying.
I'm lying.
I notice.
What do you do with that, Oscar?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm going to wait for the neighborhood watch party to break up, and then I'm going to ask you to stay, and I'm going to confront you with Junie.
Felix is going to get stuck with the tidy up, which leaves just the anti-conspirators, if that's what we're calling the group, alone in the room as everyone else has gone home. Is that the approach?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Is there kind of a simpatico in terms of that between Oscar and Junie, or is Oscar taking all of that on by himself?
I'm taking that all on by myself.
Okay. Okay. Is that something Felix is likely to resist? Criminal
Yes.
versus as cop. Okay. Okay.
Yes.
He knows when he's being put in a corner. Okay. So I'm looking at the moves.
I think I could be about to be manipulated.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking too.
That makes sense. So I am going to try to manipulate our conspiracy theorist into staying after the meeting.
Is there some kind of leverage that you have on Felix that will help you?
Right. Well, I mean, technically, he's part of the neighborhood watch, and I'm the leader of the neighborhood watch. So I do have the authority to sort of give him instructions.
And I, to be honest, I think because I lied.
Right, and also I know that you, I know that you lied.
I think that's appropriate
moral knowledge. Yeah.
fictional position.
Okay, well, let's go with that.
Oh, and I rolled with my modifier. That is a 4.
Okay, excellent.
So I'll see you around, guys.
So
I'm quite sure you will. I know you'll be at the next meeting.
I never miss Junie. Night.
Good night.
It's like,
Oscar.
right. And it's like, well, couldn't you tell I was trying to get him alone with the two of us?
Yeah, and why weren't you better at it? You're the next cop. I'm the neighborhood watch
I
mom.
mean, you were practically shooing him out of the house.
No, he said he was leaving. What am I going to do? Grab at him? That wouldn't be proper.
I mean, can't you say you need some help in the kitchen or something?
I can call after him and ask him, I guess. Hold on a second.
We don't want to draw attention.
Yes, we do.
But
Show! Oh, Show! Can you come? I'm having a terrible trouble with the plumbing. Could you just come for a moment? I need a bit of help.
So when Felix has left the house and when Junie comes after him, I'm wondering, is Mia already safely ensconced in her bedroom, or is she, creeping down the cul-de-sac to make her approach.
Pocket?
I'm sorry, I missed that.
I'm wondering when Felix leaves the neighborhood watch meeting and then Junie chases after him, is Mia only now kind of making her way back to the house to sneak in, or is she already safely in her bedroom?
Oh, are you kidding me? I've been home for at least half hour.
Okay.
I'm good at this. It's like I know how long my mom's gonna like kind of just, harangue people down there and like make them eat her crappy hors d'oeuvres. And no, it's nah. I got her schedule on lock.
So you've heard this kind of not quite argument, but definitely disagreement between her and Oscar about who should, how they should have handled Felix a little bit differently.
In fairness, I am upstairs, so all I'm hearing is some muffled, like what sounds like arguing, but I'm not picking up any of the specifics because, for all I know, at any given moment, she might try to come upstairs and check on me and make sure that I'm actually in my room. So if I'm in the house, I'm not trying to piss her off inside the house. Most of the time. Yeah.
So Felix, you hear Junie behind you, with this emotive, manipulative plea to help with the lasagna dishes or whatever it is. How does Felix react?
I think in order to get away, he will have skipped out the house and chased up after, is it Tom and his wife? And be trying to get into conversation with them. And I guess then the question is whether when she calls, he is sufficiently embarrassed to have to go back.
So what are Tom and Amy like?
They're deadly boring. They are dull as dishwater. I've checked all their records and they're really dull people, but they are cover. So I think the question is whether if Junie's going to try and manipulate me, whether the social embarrassment of ignoring her, whether I can surf that.
Okay, what do you think, Junie? Are you going to try to embarrass him in front of his neighbors to try to leverage him back into the house, or what's your approach?
I mean, I am literally yelling his name and things about the plumbing in the middle of the cul-de-sac. I don't know how much more embarrassing you want me to get. I probably can come up with something, but it doesn't seem like it would be necessary to take it farther than that. Unless
No,
you
that's
want
grand.
me to.
Oh yeah. I'm sure I don't want this to be any more embarrassing than it needs to be for Felix. Obviously, it needs to be more embarrassing, though.
Well,
so do you
then.
want to roll? Do you want to roll plus canny?
Sure.
To get
I
them
have
to
what,
turn
Canny?
back around.
2 Canny. All right. To-do. I am Junie. And I will be blue. Oh, somebody has blue dice already. I will be magenta. I got... Oh, do I re-roll once they're on the table? Because if not, I
No,
have a 14.
Yeah, that's pretty good. So when they first appear on the table, that is, I think, a valid roll.
Okay.
The way I see it. Yeah, the last roll total 12. Yeah.
So yeah,
So
and
yeah,
then I have
that's
Kenny
pretty
too,
good.
so 14.
I think that Felix will look at Tom and his wife imploringly, and I think they will kind of shrug. It's Junie.
Yeah, they are metaphorically speaking, cutting the rope off their lifeboat to release you to the monster behind them.
They're just glad it wasn't addressed to Tom.
Yeah, but better you than them. You know, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few.
And so I slink back into the living room or head to the kitchen because that's where the plumbing is, with my tail between my legs.
Oh, thank you so much for coming back. I knew you could be counted on to help. Oscar, didn't I say that Show would be sure to show up if there were any help needed?
And Oscar is like, all right, Show. I could tell you were lying when you said you didn't notice anything up, and we all know you're the most suspicious person in the neighborhood. So, what do you know about that house that went missing?
What's it worth?
Worth? This is the neighborhood watch. This is the kind of thing we're here to get to the bottom of. We're here to protect the neighborhood. And if you aren't protecting the neighborhood, then you're a threat to the neighborhood. And you know how we deal with threats.
I would like to weave the uncanny for a second, if that is all right. Although I want this scene to continue exactly as is, but I want something to be happening in the background as Oscar interrogates Show, if that's all right. So I think despite the fact that there was nothing wrong with the plumbing, all of a sudden weird gurgling sounds come from the sink, as though I had been telling the truth all along, in calling Show back about the plumbing. Just in the background to keep in mind. Please carry on, Oscar.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I said my piece basically threatening Show. So I think it's his move now.
Okay. There was a house there. It had a nice family in it. And then 2 weeks ago, one morning, it wasn't there anymore. What else do you want to know? It's just a weird, shitty thing. But the world is full, Oscar, of weird, shitty things that your brain simply cannot contain.
I know about the house going missing. What I find suspicious is that you were trying to hide what you know about the house going missing. I don't think you told me everything.
And this is why you are so stupid, Oscar. And Junie, you are the same. You said, "Oh, has anybody noticed the house has gone missing?" And they all said no. What does that tell you about them?
Well, I know what it tells us about you. It tells us that you're a liar. You can't be trusted.
It tells you I'm being careful. I don't want to be the next house that disappears.
Do you really think that Tom and Amy up the block are responsible for the house disappearance?
Are you certain they're not?
Have you been to their house? They don't even know how to match their carpeting to their clearly picked out at a bargain store wall hangings. To think that they could orchestrate something that large when they can't even decorate their kitchen.
If you are going to describe people in terms of their household furnishings, then this will chew up your soul and spit out the remains without bothering to blink. You have no idea what is going on, Junie. You think you do, But you,
No, I don't. I'm trying to find out. I just don't think Tom and Amy are likely to be behind it.
how do you know?
Like I said, have you seen them?
So why did they lie to you?
I don't think they're lying. I think they're just. I think whatever's going on here, maybe not everybody's figuring it out.
What
Why we called you
figure out?
back?
A house is there, then it's gone. That's not figuring out. That's observation. Why?
Okay.
Why did all those other people lie to you, Junie? Maybe they're being careful the way I
Hey.
tried to be when you two just go full throttle in a most idiotic way.
Now, wait a second. I don't think for a minute that those others were lying. I think they've really forgotten that the house was there. I mean, I'm a pretty good judge of character. And if anybody had been concealing the truth, I think I would have spotted that. So, I know the house isn't there. Junie knows the house isn't there. You know the house isn't there. What do the three of us have in common?
Thank you, Oscar.
I don't know.
At this stage, I want to know how far down the stairs Mia is, and maybe someone notices her, or does she, join in with the "and I know too," dramatically speaking.
I'm just curious because I feel like Show has been kind of cornered into the room, and so I think he's looking past Oscar and Junie, and so into the hall. So if Mia wanted to be seen by someone, I'd like to suggest it's Show.
And I think what goes on is that I see him and he sees me, and I put my finger up to my lips. Like, shh, don't say anything. Pretend I'm not here.
Show can live with that.
And I think what Show sees is me just kind of stifling laughter. Like, okay, yes, this is serious, but you are so totally roasting my mom, and I am here for it. Continue, please.
I think Show said his piece. His view is that this is a conspiracy, and the more that we reveal around that conspiracy to other people is just stupid.
Well, I think Oscar's right. Oscar does seem to know who's telling the truth and who isn't. And I think the others don't know what's going on. But, if you want to be obstinate and rude, that is your choice. However, I did call you over to address the plumbing, and it is making weird gurgling sounds. So, would you be willing to help with the plumbing then?
Your own fucking plumbing, and he storms out the house.
Ah, the nerve of him.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm going to block the door as he tries to leave.
Is this turned to violence?
I mean,
Depends on how much you resist, I imagine.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, I think
is the question, when he blocks the passageway, the hallway out, do you try to get past him, or is this a social confrontation?
This, I think, is when I drop Mia under the bus. And I look.
Well, and I was just going to say, I think this is when Mia says, so what about the residue on the lawn?
Dun, dun, dun.
Mia, what are you doing out of your room?
what's
And
this
also,
about
what
residue?
Seriously? I can only answer one question at a time.
All right, we'll go with the residue, and I'll deal with you later for breaking your grounding.
I'm in the house, Mom.
So,
There's some kind of weird gunk on, well, the lot where that house used to be.
what do you mean,
Alright.
gunk?
Well,
Did you touch it? Wash your hands.
what I love is that all of you are just like accepting that somehow that I know about this when you're arguing about whether each other could possibly know about this, and you just totally accept that I do. I mean, sheesh.
Mia,
We all know that
Yeah.
each other know about it.
relationship with your mother. Describe the residue. Describe it now.
No. show us the residue. I think the four of us need to go over there together and look at it right now.
You don't want to get.
Did you miss the part where I'm grounded?
Come on, Junie. Mia is trying
Yes,
to be
Mia
helpful.
can come with us. Yes, she can come with us.
You mustn't go
That
near.
doesn't make you ungrounded.
You must not go near this stuff. Describe, Mia, what you have seen.
I didn't actually see it, but there's this kid in the neighborhood named Henry, and he's really smart. He keeps his eyes peeled, and he said that he had apparently tried to cut through the lot on his way to school, and he got some of the gunk on him. He said it was
And
very
what happened?
tasty, like
Did he
I don't know if it's
describe
a cooked egg or a runny egg or what, but
and he got this on him?
that's what he said when I talked to him a little bit ago.
Look, I look at Junior, I look at Oscar, I say, look, this is dangerous stuff. I've come across it before. There have been other events like this where a residue has been left behind.
I knew you knew more than you were telling.
Oh, Oscar, get off your, pull that truncheon out your arse. Look, I have been doing some research, and there are several places around the world where stuff like this appears to be happening. People just saying it's conspiracy nuts, but it's not. And every time there's a residue, that residue is dangerous.
Should we
So,
maybe
like,
talk
what
to
is it?
Henry's parents?
I was thinking I want to know what it does, and maybe we should tell Henry because I probably shouldn't even have said his name. I mean, God, grown-ups don't understand. And this is
Well,
kid stuff. There's a code involved.
Okay. Yeah, Mia, but if this stuff is really toxic, I mean, we should
Well,
have.
What does it do?
We should. Well, we should. I don't know. So
Well, then how
what
do you
does
know
this
it's
stuff
toxic?
do? Well, I don't know. Show is saying that it's toxic.
He said it's dangerous.
Well, that's the same thing.
No, it's not. I mean, it could be explosive for all we know. It doesn't have to be corrosive or something like that. I mean, there's different types of. God, haven't you had a science class?
Look,
I think Shaw will smile at that because he likes the idea of this dumb policeman being put down by a teenager.
look. All I'm saying is that, I mean, maybe Henry's parents should take him to the doctor and just see if he's okay.
And what? Say my son stepped in some unknown substance that may or may not be from
Well,
whatever.
We'll tell him that there was some unauthorized spraying, and we just want to have the kids in the neighborhood checked out to make sure that they're all right.
Sure. Great. Cause a neighborhood panic. Make every parent on the block freak out, take their kid to the hospital, make them just pester every single doctor in existence, and then come down on you for suggesting it when the doctors can't find anything.
Out of the mouths of babes, Oscar. Out of the mouths of babes.
What are we going to do? Are we just going to let Henry maybe get sick because we're too scared to talk to his parents?
I think we try to figure out what the stuff is and then try to figure out how bad it is. And then we can tell them maybe with a little bit more of an idea about what they might want to look for. And we can localize it so that we know which kids got there and walked through it or got exposed to the stuff, and whether we need to drop a dime on all of them or whether we can just say, hey, there was a little chemical leak here and you got some gasoline on them and you might want to wash those. You might want to just throw the pants out and not wash them or anything because you could burn your house down. I mean, have you ever lied to anybody? Don't you know anything about cover stories?
I am an officer of the British Empire. We do not tell lies. Retired officer. But
And you're a cop, so yes, you've lied. I mean, you're lying right now. You're
But-
lying because you're trying to tell me you've never told a lie. That's a lie. We all know you're lying.
Mia,
Dun-
just stop with the sass already. For heaven's sake, we're all adults here except for you, and you need to remember your place, which is generally up in your room. The only reason I'm even letting you stay down here is that you've heard about this residue nonsense.
Well, Doc, fine. We won't go to Henry's parents right away, but that means the four of us have to work on this together. We have to find out what's going on, and we have to find out if Henry is in any danger.
I'm
Well-
tired of Show keeping everything close to the vest. Everybody else here is trying to be honest, even if obnoxiously so. Mia, but we're all divulging what we know and trying to work together. And some people here are saying only the minimum that they have to, and someone's life could be at stake. And I, as someone who is a responsible member of the neighborhood watch, cannot let that go by.
And I'm a kid, and even I know better than to trust other adults. So I can absolutely understand why he's not telling you everything, because look at how the two of you are acting. I mean, you're like, let's go tell everybody's parents. Let's run the kids into the hospital. Let's have doctors freak out over nothing. And
Yeah,
you're
let's
sitting
make
there
sure
saying,
that my friends
"Oh,
don't
look at
die.
my
I'm going to
family.
make
I've
fun
got
of
this nicer
adults."
hair spread.
You are grounded forever. Forever. You
Yeah,
can
I've
have
heard it
no
before,
TV.
Mom.
Yeah, I'm taking
I
your
know.
phone away.
No TV, no letters, no postcards, no messages in a bottle. I get it. I'm grounded until I'm dead. So what?
I'm turning off your phone service.
You've got
Can we just separate this domestic drama from the larger events, please?
That's what I was saying. You're the one who needs to tell us what you know.
And I'm saying I understand why he hasn't said everything he knows, because look at the two of you. I mean, God, any kid who rats on another kid is a dead kid. I mean, that's
Well,
just
then I
that
guess
is
you're dead
code
since you
as
ratted.
a kid.
Oscar, can you arrest my daughter? She's
But
impeding
I
an
understand
investigation.
exactly why Show isn't telling us everything. I mean,
can I
why
just check? It sounds like someone is trying to connect here. Is it Felix and Mia, or trying to read each other out of this situation?
That's what I think's happening.
I'm just saying I get why he's not telling everybody everything, because I'm a teenager. And when did a teenager ever tell an adult everything in the history of everything?
I think that's Mia established, because it's when you attempt to truly understand and empathize with someone or something. I'm prepared to roll connect if Mia doesn't.
Okay. I'll do it. I mean, can we both do it?
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason why not. It might get a no. We can ask a bunch of questions and it'll get a little bit messy, but yeah, we can do it both ways.
All right, and then so that is what, basic moves?
Yeah, basic moves. It's plus wits.
Oh, plus wits. All right, that gives me 9.
Okay, so you get 1 whole to spend on those questions.
Would it be good to know how many holds I had to spend before Mia asked the question? Because I'm rolling +1. Oh, I get a full 6.
6 total.
6 total.
After. Okay. Excellent.
Unsurprisingly, the conspiracy theorist does not empathize well with a 13-year-old.
And yet, the teenager understands the conspiracy theorist, because the conspiracy theorist is convinced that stuff is going on that nobody will admit. And doesn't that sound like a teenager?
Before you ask your question, Mia, for Felix, what's the feeling that you had when you got close to that vault that you're feeling right now again?
Terror. Enough to make me run from the vault. and hide. And I'm getting close to that.
What kind of sign do other people see right now that makes them think you're on edge if they were paying attention?
I'm sweating. I'm clearly agitated. I'm looking around the room. I'm thinking, how am I going to get past Oscar because he's still blocking the door? If only they let me get out here earlier, this would have been fine. I could have avoided all this. Oh my God. Is that window open?
Okay. Mia, why don't you... Now, it's a hold, so you don't have to ask it right away. You can hold it at any time during the conversation, but it's up to you.
I walk around the corner and sit down on the floor. And just kind of pat the floor. Come on, sit.
I think that Sho will sit next to Mia because at the minute, there's panic.
Yeah, I'm going to go grab a chair and sit next to them. Carry it over there.
Jesus.
How reassuring.
Like, just fuck off already, Oscar. You've done enough. Look at, like, Sho, just look at me. Breathe. Slow, steady. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Feeling any better?
Yes, actually.
You know, it's a trick that I picked up from my psychologist. Because, I mean, who isn't anxious living with her? So, he's not really a friend, but he's a kid that I don't want to see anything bad happen to. Can you maybe tell me some more about this residue stuff? I mean, the house we can figure out later, but I'm kind of worried about this kid because I actually asked him. He told me he'd gotten some on him and it was kind of eggy, and I asked if maybe he could look at it a little bit more closely. So if he's in danger, I kind of want to know about it because I kind of asked him to go back there, and if he has already, then that's a little too late. But if he hasn't, maybe I can stop him from being in any more danger.
Okay, you all need to come with me to my house.
All right. I get up from the floor.
Oscar, Junie, you coming?
Sure.
I'm coming, but we'll have words later, young lady.
So, Ginny, you said you lived at the end of the cul-de-sac, right? Or am I misremembering
Yeah.
that? Okay.
I mean, I don't know that I said that specifically, but that sounds good because I want a good vantage point on the whole neighborhood.
It was either here or the very first house, so you could see
Yeah.
all the comings and goings. Okay. Felix, where do you live? And I suppose the real point of the question is, do you have to go past number 15 to get there?
We certainly do, because I am in the first house, because I do keep an eye on who comes and goes.
Okay. So as you pass the number 15 lot, you see a faint glow from the grass right where you imagine it was.
Isn't glowing usually bad?
Come with me.
Are you still going to the house, or are you approaching the glowing?
Sho
So
is heading to his house.
I'm going toward the house. I'm like, stuff's
How about
glowing.
yeah?
Nah.
How about Junie and Oscar? Are they heading towards the glowing or following Cho?
I think following Joe, because I mean, clearly he knows what's going on to some degree, and I'd rather hear about it than find out by like getting sucked into the goo or whatever.
I think I'm curious, and I head towards the glowing. So.
Oscar, I'm gonna need you as backup.
Just a minute. I want to check this out.
If Sho sees Mia head towards the vacant lot, then he will run to put himself between it and her.
Oh, I'm not going near that stuff. I don't know what the hell it is. Right now, I'm all about trying to help Henry.
So come to my house with the others.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Oscar, you just tell me like how you're approaching the glowing, maybe to put a better picture on things.
I'm just walking slow, walking up there. Sort of. I think I've got my flashlight out, and I'm playing it over the lawn as I approach. I'm looking for just I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out what this stuff on the lawn is.
Okay, so when you finally get to the glowing, like there's just the kind of the visual refraction through the grass meant it was dissipating, but when you get closer to it, you see it's just a phone. It's a phone which hasn't been locked, and it's just glowing there.
Yeah, I think like I get out a handkerchief, and I mean I don't touch it with my bare hands, but I'll pick it up and wrap it in the handkerchief, and then I go back to the others.
Obviously, it's Henry's phone. How does Mia know it's Henry's phone?
It has a Hello Kitty case on it, and Henry is all about Sanrio.
Okay. And obviously it's unlocked, right? What do you say when you realize it's Henry's phone?
I turn to Sho and say, "So how bad is this, and where is he, and what happened, and if he's gone someplace like the house did, can we get him back?"
I think all Sho will do is to take a Ziploc bag out of his inside pocket, open it, and say, "Put the phone in here, and the handkerchief." Do it, Oscar.
So, I mean, this is evidence.
Oscar, if you ever want your car to run again, put it in the goddamn Ziploc bag, or I will dump so much sugar in the gas tank that you're going to be buying a new car every week for the rest of your life.
I mean, I'll put it in a Ziploc bag, but I mean, we have got to test this thing for fingerprints.
It's Henry's phone.
That's right.
In the middle
of
glowing goop.
And has anyone else touched this phone besides Henry? I mean, Henry is not the only person in Hong Kong with fingerprints, you know.
Oscar, you're out of your depth. This is not some cop show. Put the phone in the bag.
It's a missing persons case. That's exactly what cops investigate. I've got
and you are
way
no
more
longer
experience.
a cop.
But I've got
Put
experience.
it in the bag.
Mia, I'm going to send you home if you keep arguing.
I'm putting it in the bag. I'm just saying we need to get this thing tested for fingerprints.
And now there's one person here who knows what's going on or has any idea. And now my friend's missing. Don't push it.
Do I need to call your father?
It'd be news if he answered.
all of you people are gonna go tap on my phone 5 feet away and still listen very carefully to everything that's being said.
Sho seals a Ziploc bag, carries it very carefully in front of him, and goes to his house, assuming the others will follow him.
I'm like lockstep right there.
Oscar, you coming?
I'm not letting you guys out of my sight.
Junie, you in or out?
I'm in, although I think the dramatic language is a bit much.
If only that was true, Junie.
I continue to wait for you to explain all of this very scary thing that you are alluding to, but you say all these things. Oh, if only it were true, if only you knew, we would know if you would tell us. So maybe just tell us.
So do we get to my house?
I certainly hope so at this point.
Yes. There's no when suddenly waiting in between number 11 and number 9.
So we go into my house. I unlock the door with all 3 keys, and go in, usher people in, close the door behind them, relock it 3 times, alter the key code as I usually do, and then we go to the basement. Okay. Now, I have a hold that I'm going to spend to take the paranoid enough move. When someone enters your house, they tell you a secret about themselves no one else knows. It must be findable via the internet. When you bring it up in order to manipulate someone, take +1 forward. So what do I have in my files on Oscar? Is he, in fact, a crooked, murderous cop, for instance?
He is not, but before he became a police officer, he had a brief career as a ballet dancer.
Delightful. Junie, what have I discovered about you when I've trolled you and the rest of the neighbors?
You took the word delightful right out of my mouth regarding our dear Oscar. But what have you found out about me? That I actually worked for the CIA before getting married.
Do you want to tell us in what position?
That's classified.
Oh, great. Mia, what have I found out about you that nobody else knows?
I ran a Britney Spears fan blog on LiveJournal, and I'm terrified that somebody will find out about it because now my hair is dyed black and I'm listening to, well, certainly My Chemical Romance, but Hawthorne Heights and some Victory Record stuff. Yeah, the standard emo hardcore fare of the time.
Fine.
But that Britney Spears fan blog will haunt me.
LiveJournal is cool again, is it? Depending on our timeline, I guess.
So we go down to the basement, and there is a large digital pinboard in effect. So a large whiteboard, a digital whiteboard, stroke TV screen with digital pins in different parts of the world, and we probably see a kind of slightly touch this, expand it, touch that, expand it, rearrange, and what he's found is that there have been houses disappearing or buildings disappearing from every continent. This is the first one in East Asia, and usually it's followed by a sequence of disappearances of people in the vicinity. that's what he's discovered. And yet he can find no reports of housing changes or demolitions or rebuildings. The disappearances are often investigated, but to no avail.
I see that you've been doing some investigation more thoroughly than I had realized. Show.
Do
Well.
we get a manic vision of Felix, staring at the corkboard and pointing at the red woolen thread stretching between all of the various photographs?
Absolutely. And expand photograph, Facebook link to person, point at which Facebook ceased to have any updates from that person, all that evidence of that person having disappeared. Probably something like some newspaper reports of Mr. Jones goes missing in Wiltshire, and no one's found him. So it looks like people can go missing and be noticed, but these buildings and the people in them appear to disappear without anybody noticing.
Thank you. You've made my job here a lot easier. This is excellent information you've gathered, and I know that the people I will be reporting it to will appreciate it greatly. Now, if you wouldn't mind handing over your files.
Do you really think, Junie, that I'm going to give this to the CIA?
I'm going to pull out an impressive weapon of some sort. I don't know much about weapons, but whatever would be impressive but able to be concealed in my handbag, and point it out and say, enough joking around. I'm not just
Jesus
Junie
Christ,
from up the
Mom.
cul-de-sac. Shut up, Mia!
Hold on. Wait.
All of you shut up. I haven't been biding my time pretending to be some nosy neighbor for the last however many years, just to be told off by an ex-cop ballerina, my own kid, and a conspiracy
Wait a minute.
theorist.
How do you know I was a ballerina?
The CIA knows a lot more than you think it does.
Also,
now I'm saying,
Oscar, you
hand
point
over
your
the
feet.
I beg your pardon?
He points his feet, Mom.
It's true.
I mean,
he does.
it's not
true.
it's not hard to guess.
Maybe you take after me a little bit more than I thought. I'm proud of you, sweetie. Anyway, hand me the files, and I'll get out of the way. You can continue your investigation. If you want to loop me in, great. Otherwise, this needs to be reported to the proper authorities. I've been following this case.
I think, Junie, you need to let me just press that little icon there, and then you might discover who you're working for.
What icon?
See that?
Don't press it. Just tell me what it does.
It will reveal the connection of the CIA to the people doing this.
I don't think you understand. I am the CIA.
Oh, yeah? I want to manipulate Junie because I get +1 forward because I know she's part of the CIA and I know where she sits in the CIA. So
what's your leverage?
My leverage is that I know about her background.
I've also just admitted my background, but okay.
And her place in the organization.
Can certainly roll it. I'm interested.
Yeah. So manipulate me is +canny, which is +1, plus +1 forward is +2. Oh gosh, this gets better and better. I've actually managed to do something. So that's 7, 8, 9. On 7 to 9, they do it, but they also want something from you right now. Okay, what's the deal, Junie?
All right. You get to press your icon and reveal what you want. But this means we're now working together, and that whatever intel you get from moving forward, you are I want a signed statement. You and I are in this together. You're officially.
You and I are in this together. Can I just press
Signed
the button now?
statement? Jesus, Mom, you want to put stuff in writing and leave a paper trail?
Mia, go home before I
No.
shoot you. You're my child, and I love
And I'm
you.
saying no, and you can shoot me.
Can I roll for violence? I'm not actually going to shoot her, but I'm
Sure, but what are you doing?
I mean, there's no is there a threatening move? Because that's what I actually like to do. I'd like
Well,
to
I think
scare
then
her.
I think you're manipulating.
Manipulating. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll roll to manipulate her.
But the leverage is the threat of violence.
I'm gonna point my
Okay.
gun at her so that she will stop pestering me.
That is.
I'm in the CIA. I'm
That's
not a nice
parenting
lady.
101. Obviously, I missed the memo.
I'm in the CIA. There's a big mystery. She's mouthing off. I've had enough. All right, so it's plus canning, which is +2. All right. Sorry, Bucket. You know I love you. So I got a 10.
At the point there is a threat of violence, Sho will throw himself at Junie and will turn to violence.
Well, but I rolled a success roll just to manipulate her into being frightened enough to be quiet. She can refuse it, though. Bucket can refuse it, and then you could throw yourself at me and be violent.
I think
It's
what
up to
I'm
Bucket, though.
is that I believe the threat is real on that roll.
I wouldn't actually shoot my child or Bucket. I love Bucket.
Right. And I think that the same time that Sho throws himself at Junie, I'm also throwing myself at her.
Oh, for
It's like
Pete's
I'm trying
sake.
to disarm her.
So, what you could do is, if any of you have taken
Bucket?
hold
Are you
from
still here?
advances, you can try to interfere.
I'm here, but she just started to shoot me. I'm not going to interfere.
I'm not actually going to shoot you. I just want to make sure.
It's like she pulled a gun. I mean, there's two guys trying to disarm her. I'm a teenager. I am rolling my eyes because, God, can you just not for once, Mom?
I don't like to think I've been pulling guns on you before this situation. Thank you very much. I was very good at playing a nosy neighbor. I'm only now revealing I'm in the CIA.
And yet somehow that's actually worse.
For Pete's sake, you were so grounded.
Because, you've just been spying on everybody this whole time. It's not just that you're snoopy. You were spying. And not just spying, you were lying the entire time.
I'm trying to save lives, Mia.
Does Dad know?
Maybe when you're an adult, you'll understand.
Does Dad know?
Of course he knows. Why do you think he's always on business trips? It's not the standard sleeping with the secretary sort. He's on missions. Missions, Mia. Maybe you're not as smart
Mom,
as you
I
think
hate
you
to tell
are
you
at
this, but he's
13 years
probably sleeping
old.
with his secretary too.
Oh yeah,
Maybe
he's
he
definitely
is.
sleeping with his secretary.
Either way, he's also in the CIA. Both of us are in the CIA, and you grew up not knowing any of it because you're not a smart kid. You're just a punk-ass 13-year-old, and you need to stay out of things that are beyond your level of comprehension.
You didn't even know about the goop.
I never said out loud that I knew about the goop. Yeah. For the love
I'm
of
just
Christ.
saying.
I'm in the
just saying,
CIA.
your know-nothing daughter managed to find out something that you didn't know.
Again.
From a source that you didn't think to trap.
Again.
So, Mom.
Why did I have children? They said don't have children?
They were right.
They were right. You're right. And you were an accident. But anyway, I did know about the goop. Lying is second nature to me because I'm in the CIA. That's what I do. I've been lying about everything. I knew about the goop. I knew about Henry. I knew about the house. And I knew that you were a smart-ass punk kid before we moved here. And nothing has changed. Meanwhile,
Sorry,
people are trying to attack me, yes?
I'm lost in the fiction now. The fiction was pull a gun on Mia, tell her to shut up. At that
she told me to go home.
At that, to go home.
Yes.
At the point of the threat of violence appearing real, I charge her. We seem to have got into another mother-daughter spat.
Yes.
And fictionally, I need to be clear where I am, and I'm not.
You were attacking me.
Mhm.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
And Oscar was
So
also rushing her to disarm her.
Yes.
so I guess to start with the Junie Mia thing, right? There's a threat of violence which is leverage, but even with the 10 plus against the PC, it's up to them whether they want to do it or not. And it doesn't seem like Mia is doing it, regardless of the threat. And maybe this argument is going on as Felix and/or Oscar are attempting to hold Junie down or take the gun off her,
they have
right?
time for a 5-minute conversation while we're charging her.
Well, no, I said maybe while you are attempting to take the gun off her, they can continue their oblivious mother-daughter discussion, right, in the middle of you disarming her. I think that's kind of a relatively good compromise mechanically, fictionally. What do you think?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
So I'm going to roll to turn to violence. Yeah.
So what I would suggest is that one of you take the lead, and if the other person has a hold, that they can help if necessary.
Right. I mean, I don't have any holds.
Me neither.
I think you
Can I
should
throw my
have
hold at him?
hold, Felix, because of the previous manipulation that you had done against you. If you agree to be manipulated by another PC, you get to hold one.
Oh, so I did. Right.
Yeah.
Then I will spend my hold to support Oscar, who is better at this wrestling to the ground business than I am anyway.
Okay. You can hold off on spending the hold until you see whether he needs it.
Is that something that I could also spend my hold on, or no?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Again, I think if Oscar needs enough hold to give him a +2, I guess you could both spend your hold to give him a bump.
If everyone's attacking me, I also want to roll for violence because I'm going to shoot someone if everyone tries to tackle me. I'm not going to shoot Mia. That was never an actual threat I intended to carry out, but I will shoot one of these bastards.
Well, that may happen as a result of them rolling against you. So if they get a 7 to 9, you exchange harm, and if they get a 6-, you're gonna, shoot them all in the face or something.
Okay.
So we don't need to both roll. I think you could, if you
Right.
have hold, interfere. But
I don't know if I have any hold. I probably don't.
Right. I mean, it looks like the way you spend hold is that both Alan and me roll, and I can substitute his highest die for my lowest die.
yeah.
Right.
So you want to? So yeah, we should decide before. Sorry, yeah. Whether people are spending. I think really only one. One help is, I guess, yeah. One help is probably enough, but 2 help you might roll extra dice, and then interfere is the opposite. So interfere probably just takes away.
So can I suggest a way through this, which is that Oscar rolls 2D. If that's not good enough, I spend my hold to roll my dice, and he substitutes the lowest with my highest. If that doesn't work, Mia would have the option of saying, but my distraction to my mother is such that I too am helping. You with me? Does that work mechanically?
Yeah, if that seems good to everyone. And Pearl, you always have the option of stepping in to spend that hold to interfere to drop a resolve back. If that. I can't hear you.
I said I'm overwhelmed and everyone's attacking me. I don't know what's going on. Everybody hates me. I'm just trying to protect everybody, the public. I don't know what's going on.
All right. Well, I mean, I rolled a 7 with the brawn modifier. That's an 8.
So it's worth me spending my hold to see if I can bump that up then.
Yeah, because my
Oh.
lower die is only a 2.
Yeah, I just rolled 2 6s.
Okay, so that makes it a 12. So I think Show and I managed to wrestle this alleged CIA operative to the ground and take away her weapon.
I don't think
So
you get to take away my weapon. You can wrestle me to the ground, but you can't do all the things to me in one roll.
So does Junie want to interfere herself?
Junie is going to hit a transmit button on her phone because she's been recording all of this, and then she's going to shoot herself in the head so that they can't get any information out of her. So it'll transmit all the information that's been here to the CIA, erase her phone immediately, and she will die.
Okay, well, you're probably not going to be able to reduce them down to a 6 because they've rolled a 6. So you're not going to.
I'm not
make
hurting
their-
anybody else, am I?
If they get a 10 plus on you, they will inflict harm as established, and you will not. So
Right, I definitely can't hurt them. That is what I got from that roll, was that they have won, which is why I'm like, can't let the information, any other information I have, get into the hands of these crazies.
okay,
If I had a cyanide pill, I would take that. Be brave. I can do a be brave move. I could do the be brave move.
Be brave move. You want to do something that requires you keeping it together.
Okay, that sounds good. I knew there had to be some move, but I was 8. That's a 10 with my wits, I think. Unless I'm looking at this wrong. Right? Oh, no, it's only a 9. Is it? Or do I have a hold from something? I lost track.
well,
It's either a 9 or a 10.
You can't help yourself. You can't spend a hold to help yourself.
Oh, right. Okay, so I guess it's a 9.
So you hesitate or flinch due to unforeseen circumstances. It takes longer than you thought, or the situation simply gets worse. So, yeah, I think as they jump on you, you're able to send that signal, right, to perform that kind of mission critical thing. But I think there's something here that really makes you pause your hand, or pause your trigger finger rather, as they are struggling to, first of all, get it away from Mia, but then get it away from you. What is that? I suspect it could be Mia, but I'll leave that up to you. What does Mia say something to you as she realizes what you're trying to do to yourself?
Jesus Christ, Mom. I don't hate you.
That's the first time you've ever said anything like that before. How was I supposed to know? I may be in the CIA, but I'm not a mind reader.
You act like it.
Are you really going to sit here while I'm about to literally blow my own head off and still mouth off to me?
Just get over here, you dummy.
All right, fine. You. Weirdo. You. Clawed head cop. Will you move so I can hug my daughter?
Not as long as you've still got that gun in your hand.
I'll put it back in my handbag.
No, you'll give it to Oscar.
I'll shoot Oscar.
Put the gun down, Mom.
No, well, so they can have it?
Kick
They
it into
just
the
tackled
corner or
me to
something.
the flower. They could go to the corner. They just tackled me. I'm in
Because
the
you were threatening
CIA.
to shoot me.
Because I'm. Do you want me to start Trying to kill myself again? Is this what we're going? All of you? Or will you just let me put my gun in my bag?
Mia,
I'm in.
press the icon I indicated.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I press it.
What I'd like to do is to roll for hacker extraordinaire, because what I want to demonstrate is that when Mia presses that button, it takes us into the CIA database at Langley, which then fizzes and another image appears underneath the Langley front page. Yeah? That's roll plus canny, which is 1. Fingers crossed that that icon does what it's supposed to do, Mia. Otherwise, we could all end up dead. 8, 9. On some of that, it is incomplete, traced back to you, or put someone in danger now or later. Because what I'd like to happen is for behind that that CIA database, which as an agent, Junie will know is the real front page. It is
I have
the
a hold
way.
here that I can use.
Oh, go for it. If Donna will go with the fictional positioning.
What's the move part?
The move is hacker extraordinaire. When you use technology in order to get information you want, tell the MC what the ideal outcome would be, and roll plus canny. On 10 plus, it happens. On 7 to 9, it's incomplete, traced back to you, or put someone in danger now or later.
Yeah, sorry. I mean, what's Mia's move that you wanted to?
2 seconds here. Well, I've got that hold, and I'm wondering, what if it's the case that Mia picked up a little bit more from her computer science courses than anybody really thought?
So there's something that you can do right now, or
Like that,
have ready to go that helps this
just like
macro run.
I see something going sideways, and I'm like, Jesus Christ! I mean, you're trying to access the database. You got to do this, and clears it up.
Yeah, cool. Okay, yeah. So why don't you roll 2 more dice, and we can swap out Felix's lowest result for your highest.
There's 6 and 1.
That will do it, right?
Yeah, we must spend more time together, Mia.
God, spend more time with adults after this? God, I'd rather be grounded.
So what I'd like to have this reveal to Junie is that the CIA is a front for the bank that I heisted 6 months ago. And that everything that goes through the CIA mainframe goes straight to the bank and whoever runs it.
And I assume I'm not supposed to know about this?
I don't think you can until I reveal it.
Okay.
So, can you bring me through the sequence then of this program is shooting off to the CIA and then connecting them with all of the data that you have on the bank as well?
Yep. Showing that the CIA is a front for the bank. And I'm hoping that convinces Junie that she needn't shoot anybody.
Well, this has certainly been an interesting evening. I would say gentlemen, but gentlemen don't tackle a woman to the floor. So, men, for right now. I'll
Look,
let you handle this however you see best. And I put my gun on the floor. Say, if you'll let me up, I'll take my leave.
I'm happy to let her up once the gun
what
is
about
in
Henry?
his hands.
It's out. Out of my hands, the gun. What about Henry, Mia? You seem to know plenty and not think anything I know is worth listening to. So handle Henry yourself. I will go ahead and go home since you didn't seem to feel like it. And you and your new conspiracy theorist, hacker buddy, and cop ballerina can figure all of this out by yourself. And clearly I'm of no use here. So, Oscar, if you will do me the favor of getting your knee off of my shoulder, I would like to take my leave.
Mom. Come on. There's a kid missing.
You have not wanted me involved in this from the beginning. You're getting your wish, okay?
I didn't say I didn't
Good
want you
job.
involved. I just wanted you to stop being so extra.
Well, this is what you get. I've put my gun down. I'm ready to leave. Will everyone let me leave?
I would like to try be brave and plant a GPS tracker on her before she goes.
That sounds like you need to do something like that. All right, yeah.
Roll plus wits plus 1. 9 roll plus 1 is 10. So we at least know where Junie goes.
Junie's going home. She's gonna have a gin and tonic or 5, and wonder why she wasted her life working for an organization that isn't what she thought it was, and then moved to this stupid city in this stupid cul-de-sac with all of these boring neighbors and her bratty kid, and drink away her troubles for the rest of the night. So you can track her all you want down to the end of the cul-de-sac.
Her movement for the rest of the night is between the couch and the fridge for more ice for that endless refill. Yeah, okay.
Can also track my Netflix watching if you want. The only other action you're going to get.
Okay, so we'll come back to that. What are the conspiracy crew doing in the basement for now? Apart from looking up at that display of the GPS tracker every so often.
I am just a simple cop, and this is getting really crazy. Like, has anybody even checked with Henry's parents to see if he is missing, or if he just dropped his phone someplace?
Oscar, really, at this point, after everything you've seen?
I'm just saying, it's, maybe Henry is safe at home and we're all blowing this thing completely out of proportion.
I think Show will give Oscar a really old-fashioned look. After everything you've seen, Oscar, you really think that this is just going to clear up neatly?
Look, just because there's a missing house and a kid lost his phone doesn't mean that space aliens beamed him up. That's all I'm saying. Maybe he just lost his phone and it was lying in some glowing weird residue and he didn't want to pick it up.
What? And maybe we just lost the house somehow?
I'm saying that the house and the kid are two different problems.
The kid's phone was found where the house used to be.
I was where the house used to be.
And his name is Henry.
Isn't that what I said, Henry?
You said the kid.
Yeah.
He has a name.
Yes, I know the kid has a name. I don't know what that has to do with anything.
Because he has a name. You're
He can't be
treating
missing
him like
because he
he's
has
a
a name.
body or something. Like he doesn't matter. Name's Henry. And I may not be like best friends with him, but I know the kid. And I asked him to go over there, and I feel like it's kind of my fault. And I need to fix that. So just maybe like work with us here.
I'm
God, I can't believe I just said that to an adult.
I'm just going to check with Henry's parents, and it's like I pull out my phone and I call Henry's parents.
So are Henry's parents people we've seen before tonight on the neighborhood watch, or are they new people?
I mean, I don't think they're in the neighborhood watch, but like I've got everybody's phone numbers in the neighborhood on my cell phone. Like,
So who answers the phone, and what do we know about them?
oh, it's probably Henry's mom, Alice, and she's married to this investment banker guy. Who, and it's like she's. I mean, they both think they're too good for the neighborhood watch. Like so. I call. So like Alice answers the phone and asks, "Yeah, it's sorry to bother you, Mrs. Pemberton. I just wanted to check to see if your son Henry was at home. This is Oscar from the Neighborhood Watch.
Oh, Oscar. Oh yeah, he's upstairs in his room for sure.
Okay, could you just check and make sure we've it's not.
Are you accusing my son of
No,
something, Oscar?
no. It's just we found his lost phone, and
You found his
I
phone.
yeah. I'll bring it by later. I just wanted to make sure that he
Well,
was
he is most certainly in his room, but I don't know how his phone got out. Maybe he dropped it earlier. You know.
Oh, I'm sure.
This kid is always losing things.
I'm sure he did.
Phone.
No. I just wanted to ask him a question about the phone. But I mean, if it's too much trouble,
Well, you can ask us a question about the phone when you drop it in. If it is his phone.
all right. That's fine. I'll be around when I get around to it, and I hang up the phone. Ugh. These yuppies are the worst.
Snooty Pembertons. That's who they are. Okay.
Given where we are time-wise, I'm inclined to hand the phone to Oscar and say, "Go and check."
You're sure it's safe to. I mean, until we know what this stuff on the phone is, I wasn't actually going to give it back to them right away until we knew that. I mean, is it safe to touch?
There's nothing on it, Oscar. I just needed you to come with me.
But I mean, it was lying in this glowy stuff.
No, it was glowing. The
It was-
stuff wasn't glowing. Here, take it. And I unzip the bag and allow him to reach in and get it with his handkerchief.
Yeah, so it's like I'm just going to hold it by the handkerchief. I mean, I don't. I mean, I'm not. I mean, I'm not a science guy. I don't know about this residue stuff. I mean, did you have to like some hand sanitizer around? Just.
Oh yeah, certainly. I have a lot of that about, and I'll give him a one of those squeezy.
Yeah. It's like, and I think I'm trying to clean off the phone with the handkerchief and the hand sanitizer.
Okay. Junie, I think you're at the bottom of your third or fourth G&T. I'm wondering what you think would happen if your husband was informed by Langley to tidy things up here. What do you think his reaction would be?
Well, is he in the bank part of the CIA or the CIA part of? I don't know.
I don't know. Well, you can tell me this, but I was kind of presuming if you had said went on missions earlier, he was, an operator.
Yeah, maybe he was, and he never told me. So perhaps one of the reasons I'm drinking is that I'm suspecting he's going to show up, and it might not end well for any of us, including myself, if I've been in the wrong organization all along.
And is that? Do you think your husband is the kind of man who would, follow orders, or would he do something, foolish and romantic to get you out of this?
Oh, I think if he's in the bank side, he probably is going to follow orders. They're not like human, as I recall. Probably my whole marriage has been a sham.
Probably.
It's unfortunate, but that's what you get for marrying inside the CIA.
But on the bright side of things, that mean that your kid is half alien, so that explains a lot.
Like being a 13-year-old wasn't hard enough for Mia.
Sorry,
okay.
kid. Didn't mean to make you half alien.
So is there a discussion between our conspiracy group on whether they're returning this phone to Henry? Do they see Mia's dad pull up outside the house in a very dark Audi A6 or something?
I've got an interesting idea for the scene, which is the way that Felix Show would want this to play out, is that Oscar goes over the road with the phone. Mia and Felix see her father pull up in the suspiciously dark motor car. And Felix will say to Mia, "Do you want to stay or do you want to go?"
If I go, there will be trouble, but if I stay, I'm pretty sure it's going to be double. Yeah. Let's watch what happens for a second or two.
"Oh, I'm not staying." And Felix begins to walk down the street and says, before he goes, "Step away from the house."
She kind of grins and it's like, "You're a clever one, aren't you?"
"Got to stay ahead of the trouble, kid."
So, am I ever going to find Henry?
"I don't know. Maybe he really is upstairs." At this point, has Oscar reached the door, I wonder? Or does Oscar want to check?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'll go to Henry's house and I'll see if the mother will let me go upstairs to give him the phone.
Sorry, yeah. So Henry's mom, Alice, answers the door, and she seems surprised to see you so quickly. She had assumed you meant like tomorrow or whenever. And she calls Henry down, and Henry appears, moments later. Let's say not looking like the same kind of aware, bright kid that Mia would recognize, but to you, you're like, he's just a kid, and he looks blankly at you.
And yeah, and I will show him the phone and ask him if that's his if that's his phone.
Yeah, that looks like it. And he kind of wanders down to take it off you.
And I just asked, do you know where you lost it?
Oh, yeah, I don't know. It must have fallen out of my pocket or something.
Yeah, fell out of your pocket in the empty lot between a couple of the houses. You've been taking shortcuts.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, just and technically you're not supposed to be cutting between the houses like that. I'll let it go this time, but you really should stick to the sidewalks.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean,
And I think he's like about to. He's there's some kind of instinct in him that's going to sass, but it just dies out completely after the first. Oh, really? It's like, I don't know why I even said that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Sorry, sir.
Yeah. Keeping the neighborhood nice and safe it's a job for everybody. And I'll hand him his phone. You remember that. Remember that, son. It's part of what makes society work is respect for laws and regulations.
Yeah, okay. So he's accepting your authority, and he wants to get his phone back and head back upstairs. He just seems like a normal kid, right?
Yeah, it seems normal and no more suspicious than any of the children in this neighborhood. I'm just generally suspicious of children on general principles.
It's a safe principle, surely, with teenagers. Back at number one, Felix and Mia are staying away from the house, walking away from the house.
Walking away from it, and I say,
Okay.
So, hey, Sho, give me your phone for a second.
Why?
Because I got a feeling that whatever's about to happen behind us probably means I'm not going to see you for a while. And that really doesn't look like Henry. I mean, it's him, but it's not him, if you know what I mean. So I ain't asking you to give me your number, but I just want to put my number in your phone just in case. That makes sense.
Don't worry, Mia. I'll contact you via that Britney Spears site.
Jesus Christ. Can you just please not tell anybody that exists? Or that ever existed?
Entirely between you and me. But it'll be so secure because no one's going to look for you there, are they?
I thought I deleted it.
Oh, didn't they tell you that in computer class? Nothing's ever really deleted from the internet.
I know. There's archives and there's backups and yeah, I know. Once it's out there, it's out there.
Indeed, it is.
Yeah, if you figure out some way that I can get Henry back, maybe let me know.
You'll be the first to know. And by
Thanks,
now,
Joe.
I think we're probably at the end of the kind of path to number one. And I'll turn left to leave the cul-de-sac. And Mia will go, I don't know.
I'm going to head back to the end of the cul-de-sac where my mom is, and I'm probably going to pick up my pace because I figure whatever's going to happen behind me is probably going to have some kind of concussive effect, and I want to be out of that radius.
Yeah, that's when the gas explosion happens, inverted commas.
Okay. Let's cut there. And then maybe let's let everyone do a quick epilogue for their character. Let's go back around to Oscar first.
Yeah, and I think Oscar, he is just kind of puzzled by this whole thing, but he is going to keep an eye out. He is wary. He is suspicious. Nothing is going to get past him, and if any more houses go missing, he's going to know about it.
Okay, Felix.
I think we see Felix in a safe house somewhere, leafing through a variety of passports, and then heading to an airport, never to be seen again for a while.
For a while. Okay, and Mia.
I think we're fast forwarding a couple of years. And she is studying computer science at school and is really taken to her studies. She's doing really well in math. Her programming skills are quite a bit beyond her peers, as is her extracurricular activities in that department, which of course she doesn't tell her teachers about. Home life is strained on good days. She is, having gone through some weirdness with her mom, closer, but neither one of them trust her dad now. So there's always this there's a lot of tension and awkward silences whenever he's home, which isn't that often. And the rest of the time, it's basically just a mother and a teenage girl trying to figure out how to peacefully coexist with each other, at least in something of a state of détente as opposed to open sniping.
Okay. I think we can leave it there and wrap up with a quick debrief after this. Thanks very much, all.